in such a short period of time. This was a once in a 500-year rainfall event that just was catastrophic for New York City and for surrounding areas. In fact, we saw a first of its kind flash flood emergency from the National Weather Service for the city and surrounding areas. A travel ban for the city lifted an hour ago. The mayor and the governor, though, still urging people not to travel. Difficult anyway, because the subway service is still down. You're looking at video from Newark, New Jersey. This taken by Nick Kercheski, who is about a block from Newark Penn Station. The train service, as you might imagine, because of the flooding across New Jersey is all but down. I think there's one line that is still running. So it's going to be a real problem for people to get around, because not just the trains in New Jersey, the trains across the region, New York and Connecticut, are likely to have major disruptions on train service this morning. All right, Newark Liberty International Airport, it suspended flights for a time. The airport recorded 3 inches of rain in an hour. I mean, that's a United hub, so that's likely to have a trickle-down effect. You can see the water rushing in to the New York City subway, and the passengers there somewhat caught off guard. This is that kind of flash flooding, and they're just standing watching it. This is something that you just don't expect in New York City, where many people see those subway tunnels as one of the safest places that you could be in a weather event. Let's talk about the Mullica Hill, New Jersey. This is outside of Philadelphia, just south of Philadelphia, where it wasn't just the water. We want to show you the tornado that touched down there. This is suburban. Listen to this. They're watching this tornado come through now.
Tornado, yeah.
Again, just a historic site in the Northeast. In Mullica Hill, New Jersey, the suburban area, we know at least 9 homes were damaged in a tornado, and then there was widespread flooding there as well. This morning, there are likely still to be rescue efforts with people going through and making sure that the elderly, the infirm are not trapped in their homes by floodwater. And once again, Joe, Becky, you guys, we know that it takes time for rivers to crest. It doesn't happen all at once. So even if the rainfall is over, those rivers could still rise and cause additional problems there. Look at that monster coming through and the shock that must have been for these drivers heading right into that storm. Unbelievable.
It is. I don't feel like we had a good idea that yesterday I was not, Contessa, thinking about, wow, I wonder what Ida's going to be like when it passes over the Northeast. So I'm not sure about the predictive abilities for. I mean, we've predicted snowstorms that don't happen.
We certainly did not. We didn't get. Yeah, we did not get the warnings that we got during Superstorm Sandy, where meteorologists were ringing that alarm bell. But we were told that this would be a significant storm, a significant rain event for New York City. The forecasts for the path of this storm were spot on. It's just that in New York City, in these urban regions, densely packed Northeast, if you're not from this area of the Northeast, sometimes it's hard to understand how crucial these mass transit systems are to connect people to their jobs. And what happens if you have a major artery like the FDR that runs along that east side of Manhattan? That's a major thoroughfare to move people in and out of the city. And it floods. It floods in storms. But when you get a storm like this where it strands cars and it strands drivers and they have to get out and wade through waist-deep water to get out of their vehicles, it's historic.
Maybe we're used to nor'easters up here, Contessa, coming up the coast, and this, coming from Louisiana, just nor'easters seem to pick up more and more water as they come up along the coast from the. I just don't think we were really anticipating something since it came across the center of the country. We should have known. There were
exactly.
as it went through the Midwest and everything else, but. Just.
You know what it is, Joe? We assume we assume that things will slow down. Part of the
problem, too, guys, is that
Go ahead,
and that the ground is already saturated. Yeah. We already had a tropical storm that came up through here, so the ground had already taken all the water that it could hold. The tree roots are going to be very loose in this ground, and we're likely to see more damage going through. And that's in addition to hundreds of thousands without power this morning. And remember, if you're being told to stay in place and not go into your office because you can't get there, internet connectivity is going to be an issue today.
And Joe, the storm picked up so much speed over the Gulf because the Gulf waters were 87 degrees. We kind of assumed that by the time it traveled here, it would have slowed down so much. But I guess this just tells you how powerful, just an example, shows you how powerful it was there. At one point last night, we got flash flood warnings. So we thought, OK, better stay out of the basement. Then not long after that, the tornado warnings came and it, went off on the phones everywhere. So do you go to the basement? Do you stay upstairs? Just not the type of stuff we were anticipating at all.
Yeah, I woke up to it. Whatever you do, don't travel. Do not leave your house. It's like, well, it's not going to work for me. But right back, and here we are.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.